Hi, so today's tip is about our relationship with fear. There are two ideas that I really found interesting as I reflected on my relationship with fear. One from the book, Do the Work, which really talks about how you should use your fear actually as a compass. He refers to it as resistance. So whenever you're sort of feeling a bit of fear, then that probably indicates that you're headed in the right direction. And the other idea from Big Magic was all around Elizabeth Gilbert's method of speaking to fear whenever she was doing anything interesting. So she had this little pre-talk to be like, okay, fear, you can come along, but creative and I are going to do our work. So those two concepts I found personally helpful with fear, but what I wanted to share with you today is an exercise that I do to really try and figure out how we target about 20% fear. So for me, when I've been my best self, it's when I am operating in 20% fear. So how do you know if you're operating in 20% fear? Or maybe why is it important to operate in 20% fear first and foremost? And that is because when we're operating in 20% fear, we're learning and growing. And I believe that we're wired for evolution and we're wired for progress, and we are always happiest when we're kind of pushing our own development. And for me, anything more than 20% fear starts to feel a little bit crippling, or maybe indicates, frankly, that we're not ready for that step and we need to break that task down. But when I'm sitting at about 20%, I'm engaged, I'm active, I have sort of those kind of magic butterflies in my stomach that sort of say that I'm pushing in the right direction. So I do feel like I'm following my compass. So how do I figure out if I'm in 20%? It's a very simple exercise. Basically, I think about the activity, and generally if you're doing something that's stretching yourself, the first thing that will show up is fear, especially if it's a new thing. But then I ask myself, what else am I feeling? And if I can come up with at least 4 other things, then I know I'm in 20% fear. So example, I decide I'm going to reach out to somebody that's very senior, that may or may not respond to me, and that may or may not think that I should be reaching out to them. And so immediately what might show up is sort of fear or apprehension. But then I ask myself, what else do you feel? And if things like determined, committed, excited, proud of myself, there's 4. Actually, there's 4. So if 4 other things show up, and I can honestly say to myself, yeah, I'm scared, but I'm also excited and committed and determined and proud, all of a sudden, I get this sense of, yeah, this is the right step for me. So I hope that exercise helps. I know it's really simple, but target 20% fear today and see where that brings you. Have a great day, and if you know somebody that may benefit from this tip, please share. Thanks. Bye.